Thanks again for being here, and we should only take a little bit of your time today just to update you on the changes that come with moving to the updated Metabolic Code Assessment platform. First of all, we just want to remind you some of the new benefits that you'll find with the new platform. So the streamlined ordering and special pricing, you're now able to offer coupons for different groups of clientele and also able to offer auto orders to make sure that your patients never run out of product. Also, the multiple vendor orders will now ship in consolidated shipments, whereas before those were coming in separate boxes, as well as inventory management and monthly reporting and placing lab orders electronically. The things that remain the same that you're used to are the ability to view the finished reports and the custom nutritional supplement recommendations, but now you can also see the progress as they work their way through the steps to a completed report. When do I onboard? That's what I've been hearing a lot leading up to this week's launch of the updated platform. When do I onboard? So we are reaching out individually to all of our practitioners to discuss the process, and we'd like to make it a painless process, less than 30-minute live webinar. So we will be contacting you individually. If you have not been contacted yet, you are not in the first wave to onboard on this launch week. So as long as we have all your paperwork turned in, you are ready and in line to be onboarded. So continue working on the existing platform, Air Support. Just continue working on the existing platform until you hear from us to schedule onboarding, when you'll get more details of exactly when to transition. So continue working on Air Support. Finish up those existing questionnaires that you may have started with patients. If you have registered them on Air Support for Questionnaire plus Labs reports, you will order those labs through AML. So if you have started them for Questionnaire plus Labs, you will do the labs through AML. All right, so I'm just taking a look at my notes here and making sure there's nothing else I wanted to mention before I give you a preview of the updated platform. I think that's about everything. So just a review. Please turn in all your paperwork if you have not already. The account update form and the business associate agreement, as well as your tax ID number. And continue completing questionnaires on Air Support until you hear from us to onboard to the updated platform. And now I think we are ready to give you a preview, so I'm going to show my screen. Just please let me know through the chat if you have any questions as I work my way through, and we'll be glad to answer those at the end of the session. So here we are on the updated platform in a demo practitioner account. And you can see when you log in on the home page, now you have a dashboard of recent events. So you're going to see it in chronological order, the activity that you and staff have within the platform, and you can click on these links to go directly to that work. So this is a new patient that we created yesterday. If we click on this link, it takes us directly to his record. So you can see that you have similar abilities within this, but it is enhanced and better than before. You can see the prompts here will guide you through navigating the platform. This is generated from the Self-Help tab on the right-hand side of the browser. So you will be supported as you work your way through with the dialog boxes that take you through the step-by-step processes. Okay, so new order. This is going to allow you to generate a report for questionnaire plus labs. New order without labs, of course, without labs. So at this time, we have not integrated AML diagnostics into the updated platform. So the new lab options that we have been talking about, Quest and Physician's Lab, are required in order to generate a questionnaire plus labs report. And not just one or the other. It's Quest and Physician's Lab specimens have to be submitted both in order to generate a questionnaire plus labs report. So let's do that for this patient and see how this works. Click on New Order for Labs plus Questionnaire. We click on the green button. You can see that you do have the Platinum panel available now. So Silver, Gold, and Platinum are available to order. These are not exactly the same as they were. So just take a look at the tests that are included to make sure you're ordering exactly what you want. And you can see what those tests are by clicking the information icon and expanding the panels. So you can see instead of this being a paper requisition like before, we're doing this all online electronically. Let me close this. You can also enter in the insurance information, diagnosis code, all that required information that you're used to putting on the requisition, and take payment for the panel. Also, by clicking Advanced, you can add the standalone lab items. Just like before, you can order standalone labs. However, now you must have a panel chosen in order to generate a report. You can't generate a report with a combination of standalone labs. So just want to make sure that is clear. So you can see you can follow these informational steps. Click here for panel information. Click Next just to be guided through the entire process. Click on the lab panel you would like to order. You can choose Gold. Now we see it over here on the right panel. We can see that the pricing has come up for Gold. And these pricing rates are very similar to what they were before. Let's see, let's remove Gold and show you the pricing for the Silver. So whereas it was 290 before, it's 300 now. So we click next, and we're just guided through step by step. Makes it very simple. Now let's take a look at a patient record. We'll just go to Susan Smith, and I have resent her questionnaire to her so that you can see what it looks like on the patient side now on the updated platform here. So I have resent her questionnaire so we can see when they're incomplete. Like I mentioned, you can see patient progress, how far along they are in this process to generating a full report. So she's answered no questions. I went into her details and I resent her questionnaire so she can click the link to begin. I have that open in a new browser here. Your link to the metabolic code questionnaire. Why am I not opening here? I thought I could show you the patient side, but maybe I might need to request some help from Marta, who is also on the webinar today, to see if maybe we could switch over to her screen if she can get this to come up. For some reason, my patient inbox is not cooperating with me. So I'll give her just a minute to see if she could maybe assist me there, and I'll show you a couple other things. I have a sample report open for a questionnaire only. I think I do anyway. So just like before, you'll be able to see the questionnaire yes or no answers before viewing a report and the biomarkers. Biomarkers are the same: height, weight, blood pressure, pulse, salivary pH. And I think she was able to pull that up. So I will unmute Marta. Thanks, Marta. Can I hand the screen over?
Yeah, let me just, can you give me the name of that? It was S. Smith 2016?
Oh, for the mailinator? Yes.
S. Smith 2016.
I'm not sure why it's not letting me open the message.
I am not getting the message, maybe because you already opened it. Can you go back real quick and change the email address of that test patient and send it one more time, and then I'll be able to open it with a new address, I think.
Well, I can just resend the questionnaire.
Yeah, that might work. Yeah, go ahead. And it might just take me a minute.
So we'll just clarify that now you will register patients within the platform, and they will receive an email notification. That's new. Whereas before, no email notification was generated with a questionnaire link. Now that is there just for ease of use on the patient end. It's very simple for them to go in and start their questionnaire for questionnaire only or questionnaire plus labs report. You'll be able to see, notice the progress, how many questions they have answered, how many of their biomarkers are completed. And now the biomarkers and the yes or no questions are combined. So those are combined whereas we had them separated in two parts. Once you moved past the biomarkers, you could not go in and update those in order to move on with the rest of the questionnaire. Now they're combined in one place, and so you can change all of the biomarkers, all of the yes or no's as much as you like before submitting to make sure that they're ready. And I just want to point out there is no report fee, so this should be 0, but because this is an old record, we're showing a report fee, but there is no report fee for any of you. The report fee will be 0, and they'll be simply paying for the labs if you're ordering questionnaire plus labs. I think Marta is just waiting for the questionnaire link to be resent. I think she's self-muted, so when that is ready, I'm sure she will let me know. Just want to make sure that everyone remembers that the supplement recommendations that are on the reports from this updated platform will be from different vendors. The one that remains the same is compounded nutrients. So the Still Point, GluteReg 4, those products that you're used to seeing, those will remain there. And then also Numedica, Orthomolecular, and Designs for Health will be recommended. So Orthomolecular, Designs for Health, Numedica, and Compounded Nutrients will be the 4 vendors that are recommended on the reports now. You will have access to the full Nutralogics inventory, which includes vendors besides those 4, but you will not see them as recommendations on the report.
Libby, hi, it's Marta. I'm ready to show you the active link and the initiation of the questionnaire through email, if you're ready.
Okay, great. Yes, let me hand the screen over.
Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I clicked on the link that came through. It said your link to the Metabolic Code questionnaire, and then I get a welcome email letter, and then the green button initiates the questionnaire for me. And Libby, if you want, you can talk through this. I just was going to mention a few things. The patient can not only enter the question or the answers for the questionnaire, but they can also edit their profile. So here's just a little perk that they can click on this to edit their profile. And then Libby, if you want to talk about this, you can go ahead.
Well, I think I was mentioning it while we were waiting for the link to come through. So the biomarkers are the same that you're used to: the height, weight, blood pressure, pulse, salivary pH. And then as you can see, they are combined now into one screen with the yes or no questions. So you can update these biomarkers as needed. So that will be much better for many of our practitioners who were struggling with that previously. So we're really pleased that we were able to make that update for you and make your lives a little bit easier as far as getting accurate measurements on the biomarkers and allowing the patient to move forward with the other questions. You can see now that it's a little bit more clear to the patient as they're working through. They can see their progress very prominently to the side there. As they're working through, they see that they've answered how many out of the total number of questions, and they can even hide their answered questions so they have less to look at less to sort through and see exactly what's left. So we know that previously sometimes questions were missed here or there and the patient wouldn't realize it. It wasn't always totally clear to someone maybe a little bit less savvy on these types of surveys. So try to bring call-outs to these important things and things that maybe may have been pain points in the past for some. As they work their way through, it's just the same set of questions that you're used to seeing. So all of that remains the same. And they see their progress not only graphically but numerically on the side. So thank you, Marta, for pulling that up. Again, this is a new updated feature of the platform. The email notification for the patients after you register them, they will receive the link to the questionnaire in their email. So they don't have that set of instructions registering themselves anymore, getting confused which assessment they need to do. You set that up for them. It's very clear. They just click the link and begin and submit when completed. Okay, so I think I can probably take the screen back unless there's anything that you want to show while you have it on your side, Marta.
I was just going to mention that while you're continuing with the presentation, I'll finish this questionnaire so we can see it in its completion.
Okay.
And you want to talk about that, and then we can go on from there.
Sure.
So you can take it back.
All right, so for those that just joined us, we're now taking the sneak peek at the updated platform. If you have not been contacted yet to onboard, you will continue working on air support, and we will schedule your transition and give your login for the updated platform. And that is where we're logged in right now. We're on the dashboard. You have an events log now, so you can quickly return to places where you were working. And let's see, I think we can go to demo patient cat. Yes, and this is the report that I was getting ready to pull up for you, a finished report. It's going to look familiar. You're just going to see a few variations as you're working, things that are different. So I think we have a couple more questions for females and males. Different supplement recommendations from the different vendors. So those are orthomolecular, Numedica, Designs for Health, and then compounded nutrients, which your compounded nutrients remains the same. And then so this is the report, which like I said, looks the same. Same order, but different lab integration from Quest and Physicians Lab, and different product recommendations. And then still the notes section and education. So I want to take a look at the questions that were coming through. I think we at least have one maybe. Let me get to my control panel and see if we can start taking some questions so we can let you get back to your day. The questionnaire questions about taking medications for this or that. Does this mean only drugs or supplements as well? This means prescribed drugs. Yes, prescribed pharmaceuticals. Any other questions? Will Physicians Lab and Quest have the ability to send out a mobile phlebotomist? Okay, thanks for bringing that up. Physicians Lab is how we are going to measure hormones, and that's through a 24-hour urine collection. So when you order a Questionnaire Plus Labs report, what happens is the email with the questionnaire link will be sent to the patient, and 2 emails with the Quest requisitions will be sent. So they print those out and take them to a Quest. I don't believe we have mobile phlebotomy set up, but I do have another team member here on the line who may be able to confirm or deny. I don't think mobile phlebotomy is set up, but let's just get her confirmation on that. And so the questionnaire email is sent, the Quest requisitions are sent via email, and that also triggers a Physicians Lab urine test kit to be mailed to the patient. So that's an at-home collection, and all the tubes and ice pack and instructions and everything are included in that. So the next question is a concern about adding the urine testing. Is there a way to choose either or and generate a report, either Quest Labs or Physicians Labs, and generate a report? Right now they're set up to be drawn in tandem. So you do have to test both in order to generate a report. You do have to test both. Of course, you always have the option of doing the questionnaire only, like you had before. You cannot choose blood or urine. Can we add saliva? Right now, the saliva is just going to be the salivary pH. We will work on getting that incorporated again, but the 4-point cortisol is now ordered through the urine kit. We draw Quest Labs in our office for local patients. Is there a way for us to choose which patients receive the Quest requisition versus those who just come into our office for the draw? That is something that we will have to follow up on as far as what to do when you do in-house phlebotomy. That team member looks like she has not given any input on the mobile phlebotomy yet, but Alicia, if you could type in the chat about the mobile phlebotomy and if there's any information on those who are doing in-house draws.
Hey. Yeah, Libby, I did. You must just not be able to see it. Currently, we are not set up for mobile phlebotomy. There are multiple Quest PSC centers located all over, which does make it a little bit easier on the patient. In regards to the in-office draws, currently I don't have an answer We're working on it, as you and I discussed yesterday, but as of right now, the patient will need to go into a local Quest Diagnostics draw center and have it drawn there. They'll receive their requisition by email. They'll just need to print that off and take it in with them.
Okay, so is it 2 emails or has that been combined to 1 email?
For the Quest requisitions?
Yes.
I'll have to verify. When we ordered yours, did you receive 1 email or 2 emails?
2.
2. Then currently it's probably still 2. That's not something that's actually within our control. It's what Quest is sending back to us through their API. So when we order through the new platform, it's electronically sending that to Quest, and they're sending back to us the documentation. And part of it is just because they have certain specimens that we're drawing that have different requirements. So it's how they make sure that the specimens are going to either regionally or national labs that are going to be doing the processing of the testing. So is it an easy fix that we can do right away? Probably not. But we just need to make sure that the patients print both of them. The nice thing is when they do go into the patient service center, it's electronically there as well. So if they don't have the requisition with them, you have a really good chance that the patient service center is going to catch the fact that they have more testing than what they brought in with them.
Oh, good. Okay. And we have other questions coming through. Is there an extra charge for the draw at the patient service center in addition to what they pay through the Metabolic Code platform?
The cost of the draw is included in what we're charging through the platform. So no, when they go in, they're all taken care of.
Okay, good. It looks like one of the practitioners is saying that they're in a remote area and they already know that the closest draw center is 2 hours away. So that's something we'll help you look into and figure out what that solution is going to be and how you can continue to do your in-house draws. I'm sure we can come up with an answer for you fairly soon. We'll just do our due diligence on our end and let you know. So just know that we did see that question come through and we are working on getting you more information. Another question, I came in late, so I will watch later if I can, but wonder if you address the billing issue for labs. Patients like knowing in advance how much they need to pay for their labs based on cash versus insured versus Medicare, and whether they have met their deductible or not. Alicia, I will defer to you on that one as well if you can.
Absolutely. So if they are paying cash for the testing, absolutely. As you click on the different panels that you want to have the patient complete, they will calculate a cost. So right up front, you can take a look, and let's say you want a silver panel and maybe you wanted to add a couple additional things. As you add those testing over on the outcome, which is on the right-hand side of the screen, it will calculate the cost that the patient's going to be charged for the testing. Now, when it comes to insurance, right now what they'll do is they will receive a receipt. They can submit to their insurance after the fact if they want, which a lot of times is the easier way to do it. You tend to get a little bit better coverage. However, if they're going to run it through their insurance, we have no idea. We're not hooked into the insurance companies. They would have to call beforehand, check on the different testing, see what their coverages are, because everybody's so different, including Medicare. So there may be some testing that they get coverage on, there may be some testing that they don't. We really have no way of knowing what their coverages are, what deductibles they've met. We just don't know, because we're not connected to insurance companies at all.
Okay, and so like we said previously, the cash prices for the panels are similar to what you're used to seeing. So the option to pay the upfront cash prices are very similar, and now we do have the option of ordering the Platinum panel. Those do look a little bit different through Quest, so just make sure to take a look at the breakdown of the included tests to make sure you're getting what you intended. And let me see, I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. No mobile phlebotomy at this time. No mobile phlebotomy at this time. So Alicia, are you saying if the, we're getting another question saying patients won't know all the test codes and diagnosis codes, are you saying that if the patient gets the receipt from the metabolic code platform, all of that is going to be listed on there from the practitioner office for when they call their insurance?
Correct, yes. When the practitioner places an order in the system, the testing have codes in the back, and they will be placing the diagnosis codes within the order itself. There is a box. I don't know if you can go back to that particular ordering screen, but there's a box where they will need to add in the diagnosis codes for that particular order.
I think I can just do a new order so we can see that part again. So this is just a search function. You just start typing and then you can add in the different codes like that. And then once the patient order is processed, a receipt can be generated with all that information to confirm. So it looks like the questions are slowing down. I will just give just another minute or two to take any last questions. I have recorded the session today, so I think we can work on getting this placed somewhere or sent via email if you did not make it to the beginning of the session for review. Can we see the list of supplements available? I don't think we have a list of every potential recommendation that will appear on the reports, but Alicia, if you can tell me that. Do we have a list of the possible recommendations that will appear on the report, or do they just have access to the entire Nutralogics inventory and there's no delineation to what may be a possible metabolic code recommendation?
At this point in time, the supplements that they have access to are only those that are going to be a recommendation. Now, we are very close to being able to have the ability for them to add any supplement that's available through Nutralogics. We're not quite there yet, but as a, very soon they'll have full access to everything. Now, as far as a list, I don't have one right in front of me where I can open and show. I would actually have to probably get that from Nutralogics, but it's definitely something that we can put together and send out. That's not a problem.
Okay, perfect. And then another question, does this mean we can no longer use AML at all? So at this time, until you transition to the updated platform, you will continue using AML with air support reports, just like usual. Right now, we do not have the ability to interface with AML on the updated platform. We do not have that ability at this time. Okay, so Marta, I just wanted to check in with you and see if there were any final points that you wanted to make. I think we were intending to switch back over to your screen, but we have lots of questions, and I know people are needing to get back to their days. So it looks like we could probably wrap up at this point unless you have some final points to make.
Yeah, I was just going to mention quickly for the self-help tab that once you start using that, you can always opt out of it by closing the little box. So Libby, if you could just click on it and start one of them so we can just see on the self-help tab, yeah. Yeah, so if you figure out, you click a few of them and then you're done, you think, oh, I know how to do this, make sure you X out to the top right of the little box of the bubble. Yeah, so there you go. And that'll stop it from popping up again. Otherwise, it'll still be engaged and it will track your moves, or not track your moves, but it'll push you through the flow. So if you want to get rid of that, make sure you close it using the X. That's all. And that's all that I was going to say. So any of those self-help flows are there and available for you to use during the session when you're actually using the platform.
Okay, very good. Well, that will be a really nice new feature, the step-by-step, whereas before it was accessing the FAQs document. So lots of exciting new changes that we are very happy to get you going and using. We will be reaching out, as I mentioned, if you have yet to turn in your updated account information on the application form or the business associate agreement or your tax ID number. Please do return those to us as soon as possible to admin@Metabolic Code, or the fax number, which of course I can't remember off the top of my head, but I can get that to you if you would prefer to fax. Just had one other question come through. So we don't enter the biometrics at all, but we have to give them to the patients to enter in on their own. That question came up yesterday. Alicia, does the practitioner have the ability to impersonate a patient to enter the biomarkers for the patient, or do they have to give them to the patient to enter? Can the practitioner impersonate a patient and enter the biomarkers?
Can you do me a favor real quick and click on dashboard?
Yes.
That's a great question, actually. As it stands right now, no. They would have to give those biomarkers to the patient to put into their questionnaire.
Okay. Okay. But all of these points that have been brought up like that, these are all things we are either making note of or already have noted and are potentially going to integrate. So we want to know all of the feedback, just as we always have, what would make use of the platform easier for you. So just let us know things like that. Always have open lines of communication and want to know your feedback. So thank you again for being here today. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day, and we're really excited to get you going on the updated platform so you can start to utilize all of these new benefits and features that you had not had before, especially auto orders. That has been a really popular request, and we're so glad to be able to offer that now through Nutralogic. So thanks again. We appreciate you being here, and we will follow up with more information. Don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.